welcome to episode 24 of the MMA with Pepe and Dab podcast. Thank you all for joining us again. We are your hosts, of course. I am Dab Hat, along with my co-host for another week.
For another week, am I on a temporary contract or what?
I don't know the way it's going. You got to really start adding something to this, Pep. I want to see a little hustle. You got to start finishing. You got to finish and get the submission, choke them out. We can't have no judges' scorecard because they never get it right.
True that.
But for another week, of course, it is me, Dab Hatter, along with Pepe from Mexico, and we had another. Oh, it was a pretty good card. Highlight reel knockout. Throughout the card, the main event was left something to be desired, I think. But overall, wasn't too bad of a night. But we kicked the night off with Alejandro Perez versus Johnny Eduardo. Alejandro getting the win with a round 2 submission.
Vamos, Mexico. Turbo. He's called Turbo. He was moving oddly. Whenever they say weave, just move your head. This guy was moving the entire head and shoulders and everything side to side. That was weird to begin with. But on the second round, he was better. He started striking. Now, we need to point out that Johnny Eduardo is a black belt jiu-jitsu. So he submitted with a scarf arm lock. I don't remember the last one that I saw because he was all over his neck and the arm in between. It was
a
just
scarf arm lock. Now, is that not the same as a Darce choke?
No, it's different because the Darce, you have it above, and this one is underneath your body.
Okay.
So you're doing the pressure with your back. So it's just beauty. Very good for him. He got the performance of the night bonus, so he is getting additional money for that. So it's very good. Just you mentioned it. It is good to know that if you're finishing the fight and doing a submission, you have a big chance to get that performance. And good for the Mexican. Let's spend some money.
That's and everybody. That's what they don't only fight to win. They fight to win those bonuses, right? That's the incentive to, in Dana's eyes, get us better fights, and a lot of people, it's just to make more money. Obviously, money drives what these guys are doing. After all, I unfortunately, like us, being Canadian again, kicked me in the ass. I missed the first 3 fights because they weren't broadcasted in my area. But I picked them up as soon as they did pick up. But moving right along, we had Stephanie Egger versus Shanna Young. Stephanie Egger with the win, round 2 knockout.
One-sided contest in there. The Swiss is long and lean. She used that into her advantage for the striking, for creating distance, and then she moved into takedown. Good level changes because she would Young was just expecting attack from afar. So whenever she was doing the level change, it was perfect to be doing a takedown. A lot of clinching on the cage by Egger. An easy trip whenever she did the takedown, just nasty elbows, and that finished the fight. The first elbow was very, very nasty. She got a bad cut on the right side for Young, and I thought he was going to be stopped on the first one because he was terrible. She got a little bit of control, then hit another one, and it was over. Those elbows, man, are very, very dangerous.
And then we had Douglas Silva de Andrade with the round 1 knockout over Gaetano Pirello. This was the highlight reel knockout. I didn't get to see the fight, but of course I've seen the knockout as it was pretty well memed almost instantly.
Yeah, El Tigre, it's called the Belgian fighter. He was, that was mentioning throughout the night that he was preparing and training in different countries. He was moving back and forth just to make sure that he was going to be ready for what the Brazilian was going to bring. This is the first fight for him on the UFC. So he wanted to perform better. But it was a very hard fighter that he got into for his first fight. I mean, the Silva, it's the Andrade, it's very fast. It's strong as hell. And it was just perfect. Once again, what we saw is whenever you're throwing a kick, it's the movement that you do and you lower your hand, and it was just timed perfectly. He was going for the kick, and the Silva just hit him. It was just a beauty, a fast strike, very powerful. But we gotta mention the most dangerous thing that happened. It was him flipping twice on the freaking ring. He did it from the cage, and then he did it from the top of the cage. He was almost landing on El Tigre, so it's very dangerous. I know he was excited, but we need to take care of those. It's gonna be a Grammatica thing in there. If you remember Martin Grammatica,
Yeah, well, and
just
I think
celebrating the kick.
there's actually, well, we've seen people screw their leg up. One hurt their
Yes,
ankle,
sir.
uh,
Yes, sir.
multiple times after that huge knockout. I can't remember who it was. He backflipped off the cage and messed up their knee. So I'm not sure if they actually. I think they might have started fining him for flipping off the cage. I'm not 100% sure. I had heard that from unconfirmed source. So I would definitely have to research that. But I could definitely see it if it's not already. I know Dana fucking hates it. And it's understandable why he does hate it because, like, at the end of the day, it means nothing to him. But if they have that huge win, he wants to make fucking money off of them. And he can't make money off of them if they're not fight ready. And if they fucking blow their knee out back flipping off a cage, they're not going to be fight ready for quite a while. And then who knows how they come back also.
Yes, it's all on the money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then where I was able to pick it up, we had Devontae Smith versus Jamie Mullarkey. Devontae Smith probably winning the first round, I had thought. And
Yes,
then
sir.
Jamie Mullarkey coming back with a round 2 knockout. Durability on Jamie Mullarkey is fucking insane. He's got that huge pronounced eyebrow line, and it's just, you would think it would be split wide open every fight. But the amount of punishment he was able to take, and then really didn't look too bad by the end of the fight. But he just out of nowhere, not necessarily out of nowhere, but he started to, it looked like Devontae Smith maybe was starting to fade pretty early into the second round, and then Mullarkey was just able to, it was definitely Mullarkey's round in the second round.
That is correct. And for Devonta Smith, he was from the Dana White Contender Series. That's how he earned his contract. And I thought he was going to be a little bit more nervous or jittery or anything. He was poised. He was very good on the first round. 1-2 combinations, very effective, very powerful. There was one time that he rocked Mullarkey on the first round, but on the second round, it was just he sped it up. They on the corner they said it. We need to hurry and you need to take the fight to him. And wow, he did. Just the volume of punches, just to make sure that he was going to do the finish. It was the volume of punches and then just pressuring him and towards the cage. It was great. Now, one thing that Mullarkey did very well, he used Volkanovski's camp and he trained with Volka. So he's got all of that attention. Everyone eyes is in there. So very good partnering
Championship
with Volkanovski.
caliber training.
It's always great. So those are the little things that make the fighters a little bit better, and that's what we see whenever they want to do the additional things. Is either they're changing their nutrition or the camp or the people that they're training with. So it was a smart move by Mullarkey in getting him the win.
And it was a great win at that. He really dug down deep, was able to finish off strong. And then we seen another fighter retirement as Betch Correia faced Carol Rosa. It really didn't go Betch's way. She was just pretty well dominated all 3 rounds. Real scared to initiate, scared, just kind of stood back and was very defensive. I thought, it was of my thinking, if you know it's your last fight, you know you're never going to be doing this again. You know, why not throw caution to the wind and go out there and try to put on the best performance you could? Maybe, obviously, she's a fighter. I'm fucking not. But she fought with her game plan, which is exactly what I'm sure her game plan was to just survive and look for opportunity. But Carol Rosa just basically picked her apart on the outside.
Yeah, and Carol Rosa, just to make sure she's just very strong, very good at cardio, a lot of striking. Everything around is ground and pound, takedowns, clinch, punches, dirty boxing inside. It's everything. She was doing everything. I think she used this fight just to uh, perform and just showcase all of the skills that she has. Now, mad respect from Carol, and she was talking about Correia being one of those fighters that you look up to in Brazil because of what she has become in all the years that she has fought.
She's
Good
fought
thing,
forever. She's one of the longest tenured fighters
yeah. And
in the league, like in the company.
and the great thing in here is that at the end, even though she lost, it's good that they gave her some time just to do farewell, DC was interviewing her afterwards. It was one-sided competition. We have one ranked fighter in that division that is actually going to be moving up on her stock. It was very good, and one retired fighter that it showed.
They give her more than they give Anderson Silva, which is kind of fucked up. But it was a pretty one-sided fight. It did. Carol Rosa, unfortunately, not able to finish the fight. So it went to the judges' scorecards, and it was 30-27, 30-27, and then one judge was 30-26. It was very, very one-sided fight. But congratulations to Betch on an amazing career, and hope all the best for her in the future. And then the next fight of the night, we had Champion's sister fighting again. Not having so much luck is Antonina Shevchenko lost to Casey O'Neill with a round 2 knockout loss. Antonina not having the best last couple fights. I would say the best 5 fight. Like I think she's only won one of her last 5, I believe. So it's is she there on the contract? I know she was the Ultimate Fighter winner at 2018, I think it was, or something like that. So yeah, I'm sure she's there on that. But how much of this, Pep, do you think is she still there because of that last name?
A lot, and we have to be honest. They're coming from a family of martial artists. Muay Thai and kickboxing is their forte, but we see a lot of difference between the sisters. I mean,
Because even though,
Valentina and Antonina,
even though she's had the win, she's been like in her losses, she's been absolutely dominated in her losses. Like she just looks like maybe she needs to move divisions. I don't know, but she's just totally dominated in the last couple fights I've seen her in.
yeah, and I thought being her kickboxer probably used more of the distance over there, and she was not. I mean, and one of the forte for Neil, it's obviously the grappling and doing it in short distance, and she was not defending it. She was not putting the space. So those are the little things that you make you think, well, what's the game plan then? And obviously you have your sister in the corner, and she's telling you all and you're doing the camp similar to what we mentioned with Mullarkey. She was doing the camp with her sister, but
you got to be
I
able
don't
to
know if the
perform at the
talent
end of
is
the
not
day.
there.
You got to be able to perform at the end of the day.
Yep.
And
And I forgot to mention Douglas De Silva. He got another performance of the night, as well as Casey O'Neill for this finish.
Casey O'Neill got. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. We only have 4 performances of the night. It's Jamie Mullarkey. I also forgot Casey O'Neill and De Silva. So all of those on the prelims, $50,000. No fight of the night bonus.
And then we had Joe Solecki versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon getting the split decision win. This one went all 3 rounds. It wasn't too bad of a fight. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, we're talking now about the main card, and
is this
the
main card? This was the first fight on the main card.
Sorry, this is the last fight of
yeah, that's the main event for the prelims, basically.
Yeah, Flash Gordon, the main event of the prelims. Yeah, Flash Gordon, he's a good fighter, but I was expecting a lot more from Solecki. He's very good.
It was a very high paced fight for the first. Like it started out pretty high paced.
First round, Solecki dominated. He was in the ground, but he was not doing anything else. He was calm. He was looking for every angle that he could take. But then second round and third round, he just wasn't in the fight. I'm not sure if he lost interest. He was not in it. There was not fire in him. He's a very talented wrestler and BJJ, but we did not see that.
Yeah, no, Gordon getting the win there with a split decision. I think that was the closest decision of the night. And then we got into the main card as we seen Alexander Hernandez versus Mike Breeden. Hernandez getting the first round knockout. And I believe was it him that had the call out?
For who?
For Pimblet or whatever.
No, it was Gordon.
Oh, was it Gordon? Okay, I remember it was Gordon right in here somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alexander Hernandez making quick work of Mike Breeden. Great knockout. He's got like he's got like that George St. Pierre physique where it looks like he's just chiseled out of stone. You know what I mean? You can see he's got like a 18 pack. It's insane. And he looked really good in there tonight or that
Now,
night.
we need to remember that the last fight for Alexander, he left it to the judges' cards and he lost it, and it was very very close against Thiago Moses.
He made
So
mention of that too.
yeah, so Thiago Moses versus him, it was very close. It could go either way, and this fight, he was making sure that there was no doubt about it. The amount of punches that he was throwing on the first round just to finish it, it was just amazing. He got him into a right hook above his guard, so that was amazing. He was doing the level changing and just going on the hook over the guard, and it was amazing. He just hit two of those, and then it was all over. He just went over and finished it because he even mentioned it at the post interview. I needed to make sure that I had to win because I was too close behind.
And then it was one of the best finishes of the night. I thought. I'm surprised he didn't. Did he get a bonus for that one?
No,
Wow.
he did not.
I thought it was a pretty decent knockout.
Yep,
And then we had the Misha Cirkunov versus Christoph Jotko fight go all the way. Jotko he put on a pretty good fight. This I don't know. I think it was all right. The judges scored it 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. So it was actually one judge had it 28-29. So split decision. Christoph Jotko with the win.
The Canadian, as well as my Canadian friend over here, asleep. He started late and wake up late and slow. He was not moving much. He was an
No.
easy target.
And I was
That
rooting for him because he was from, I think, Toronto, they said.
I think so.
So
Now,
he's fairly close to me. But yeah,
now
no.
in this fight we had our dirty bastard combo, meaning
The eye
poke
yeah.
and a nut shot, but it
Yeah.
was from each of them. So we had the knee on the nuts by Jotko and no, by Cirkunov, and then Jotko did the eye poke.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to mention in there, bad from Jotko because he was screaming like, "Let's go, let's do it." It's like, dude, he can take his time. I know he was doing that because he was in rhythm. He was
almost finishing it. He knew
exactly.
he smelt blood. He knew he was going to finish the fight. And if you looked at the eye poke, it wasn't as bad as some of the eye pokes we've seen. So there was definitely room for controversy there, I think. But yeah, no, it's not very professional to be doing what Jotko was screaming. I thought Herb Dean was going to choke him out.
Yeah, he was mad because he was calling him like,
he's like, Jotko, get in that corner.
Go to that corner. Yeah, he was nice. I think that was the most interesting part from the fight to me.
It really was.
Nothing, not fireworks, nothing exciting. It was just a dirty bastard combo.
Yeah, no, that was pretty well it. And then we had Alex Oliveira, Cowboy, versus Nico Price. I knew this was going to be a great fight, and it was a great fight. Nico Price getting the unanimous decision. I personally think Oliveira won that fight. That was just of my opinion. And if you look at the damage afterwards, Nico definitely was wearing more of it than I think Oliveira was.
Yeah, but Nico closed 2 rounds with a takedown and controlling Oliveira. So now, besides the fight, and if you see the Cowboy coming, it was odd. He was very, very emotional. He was crying on the walkout. And he's not that type of fighter. Whenever he's coming out, he's dancing and joking around and smiling. I don't know if there's something personal happening because on the first round, his corner was telling, "Hey, we are in a fight. Let's get it on. I mean, get started." He was just asleep. He was not there. He was just gone. Second and third round, he picked it up, but I don't think it was enough. I saw Nico Price winning the fight because on the first round was all him. A little bit of cautious because it's similar styles, similar physiques as well. I mean, you see them and they look apart.
Well,
So,
and Oliveira's kind of got that off the wall style. He's throwing some weird shit out of nowhere.
he was jumping and he got caught jumping with one kick. So
was that the one where it was a nut shot on the jump, right? Was it not?
it was close to be a nut shot, but it was
But
just more
Oliveira went
into
right
the
back
side,
to it
yeah.
right away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't take any count.
Now, I don't know if that affected Oliveira because he just lost one round by not being there, and nothing was mentioned. I'm not sure if there's personal issues that he was going through because he was very, very emotional coming in. I don't think he was right in his head for the first round, and it just unfortunately got him.
Yeah, it was a great fight nonetheless. One of the better fights on the card, I had thought, as far as going to the judge's decision. And then we had probably
Your favorite, your
yeah,
favorite, your boy,
it was
your protege.
it was quite a weird one to say the least. As Kevin Holland and Kyle Daukaus went at it. Kevin Holland, of course, getting headbutted. It was a definite headbutt, knocking him out cold, but then coming back too as he went down, continuing to fight. Daukaus getting the rear naked choke, locking it in, and then Holland tapping, and then them doing a judge's review in the back with Herb Dean and Dan Mergliotta going over the replay, realizing that it was in fact a knockout. Dan knew it was a knockout. Dan should have stopped that fight the minute he seen Holland go down from that headbutt because the outcome was a no contest due to the headbutt.
He mentioned I was going to stop it.
He should have.
He recovered.
Exactly.
And he started fighting off.
So then if that's the case and he felt that he was good enough to go forward, then they should have given Daukaus the win, and it should have been a win by rear naked choke.
Well, but that's why you have a review. Now, I agree with you. There's always something
for Dan to say though, I was going to stop it. To know he's seen something, to know he's seen it was a clash of heads. You know what I mean?
He said that he did not say that it was a clash of heads, and that's why he was going to stop it. He saw him falling.
I suppose maybe he didn't see that it was a clash of heads, but if he had seen it was a clash of heads, then he should have, put an end to it right there because it was obvious to everybody that Holland was out cold, and it was from the headbutt.
But I agree. That's why you have a review. That's why you have the option to review these fights. That's why you are gonna run it again. You have a rematch between these two guys.
And apparently, it's booked for like this month, or not this month, but next month on another fight night, I believe. I thought I had read something about it being rebooked already.
Now, I did not see anything else from Holland.
No, Kyle Daukaus starts the fights up, but puts Holland up against the fence. Holland talks his fucking shit. He's like, how about that, DC? Because he stuffed one fucking takedown and then got to the fence. But then he wasn't doing shit afterwards. The headbutt happened. He falls down, rolled, come back to it, rolled, but then got caught up and choked out. So it's really, we proved nothing other than that he can stop a takedown once from Kyle Daukaus, but then get pushed up against the fence and talk shit. So the fight definitely didn't prove shit. We'll see what happens when they run it back, because like I said, I'm pretty sure it's been rescheduled already. And we'll see what the saga of Kevin Holland holds moving forward.
Yeah, I think Daukaus is gonna be. I mean, he was using as well his brother's camp as well as Antonina's because they were training. He looked good, strong. He was pushing it. He was pressuring. If you can say, what did Holland did? 2 underhooks and a base.
Yeah.
To defend a takedown is like, dude,
but it's now
wrestle more.
Now everybody knows what Holland's kryptonite is, and now everybody that sees him in the ring, he's gonna be wrestled until he shows that he, you know what I mean? Because that's how he gets beat. And if he loses this fight, we may never see Kevin Holland in the ring again. Who knows?
And this fight was very, very weird because the review of everything what happened lasted longer than the fight. Fight.
It definitely
was like
did.
5 to 6 minutes, all the review and the conversation. It was fun to see the referees talking and discussing in there, and then the old guys from the commissions like coming in and like, move away,
and then Herb Dean with the ear whisper, but we could still hear it on the fucking mic.
It was like, it is going to be a non-contest. Dude, we can hear
do whatever you feel at the end of the day. No, it was a weird way to go down at the end, and then Holland saying, "Oh, we got to run it back." Asked Daukaus, asked whoever was standing on the other side of the ring. I'd imagine Daukaus' camp or his camp, but whatever. But yeah, needless to say, they're gonna run it back, and we'll see what the true outcome is. But it was lights out for Holland there pretty quick, so we do know if he gets punched in the jaw hard enough, it's lights out for Kevin Holland. And then we got to our main event. Didn't exactly go how I thought it was going to go. It was a rather boring fight, in my opinion, as we've seen Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Thiago looked a lot better than he has in his last fight. I think he's lost every fight since he lost to John Jones. He looked great in the John Jones fight. Had he not blown his knees out, I think he was going to win that fight quite convincingly. I argue that he may have even won it, legit, like even with the 2 blown knees. But I think he suffered 2 losses since then. But he's shown that he's back and ready to go. Mind you, they were both kind of gun shy. I think this is a classic example of both being scared of each other's weapons and not wanting to run in and get caught. But needless to say, Thiago Santos, they went 5 rounds and he got the unanimous decision over Johnny Walker.
Haven't I told you, Mr. Casual Expert, about the clash of the styles? You wanted to see Jairzinho versus Derek Lewis. It's the same as getting Santos and Walker. He was nothing in there. Now, allegedly, Walker afterwards said that he could possibly had a foot injury that might have affected him. But still, I did not see the hammer and I did not see the power of Walker.
No.
Nothing happens. It was a bit boring. Once again, the main event did not perform. It was better on the prelims. Not much of a fight to be proven who's the stronger. I mean, just Walker is a huge guy. I think
he's like massive.
He's big, almost 7 foot. So why don't take advantage of that distance and then change levels? Or if you're Santos, well, do the clinch, dirty boxing, take him down. There wasn't much in there, and I was expecting a little much, but still, then you have 2 people that are on this division that might just be around.
Well, I think maybe Johnny Walker caught one of Santos's good punches there and maybe thought twice about coming in on him. And obviously Santos wasn't going to go running after him. They did go back and forth on who was taking center of the ring and whatnot, but Santos just squeaked out a win basically, and that's what it was.
Now, and what do we do with this light heavyweight division with these 2 fighters? I don't think it's going to be a lot that you can tell or take out of these fights.
I'm not sure if Johnny's got 2 losses or if Johnny's got, well, this will make it his 2nd loss, I believe. He was stringing a bunch of wins together, had some highlight reel knockouts, but then went loss, I do believe. Honestly, I don't think this fucking changes a fucking thing. I don't think it helps Santos' stock rise, and I don't think Johnny's dropped at all. It might have stopped Santos from you know what I mean, getting let go or dropped out of the division because, like I said, he's lost, I'm pretty sure, every fight since John Jones.
And we have Glover Teixeira fighting with
Jan Blachowicz, yeah,
for at the end of the month for the championship. And still you have Dom Reyes, Anthony Smith before Thiago Santos easily with no questions asked. I don't know if it's going to be Anthony Smith, Thiago, but I don't see it happen.
I'm not 100% sure what the final, like what the result of the John Jones fight was to Thiago Santos, but since he's had that fight, he has not looked the same at all. The aggressiveness, even that much, you know what I mean? It's not the same. And the way it looked like in that fight, it looked like he blew both his fucking knees out. But I never looked up the final results and surgery and whatnot that he had after that. But I know he did get injured.
Now Thiago fought scared of losing because he was coming from two losing fights. And whenever you see a fighter doing that, you're not taking any chances, you're not taking any risk, you're just calculating on that, and you make a boring fight. Not a smart fight to take care of yourself, but a boring one because you're too scared of losing it. And I'm not sure if that's going to be moving up his rank. I'd rather see Dom Reyes and Anthony Smith than Thiago or Johnny Walker.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would go for a Dom Reyes, Anthony Smith. But honestly, I think we see the Glover Jan fight, and I wouldn't doubt if Anthony's probably next in line for Jan. Like I said, depending on how long Anthony wants to wait and how long the UFC is willing to put him on ice. And honestly, the outcome of what the Jan Glover fight is if Jan doesn't take too much damage, there's you know, I mean, he's can get back quicker, or who knows if Glover doesn't take too much damage. If Glover does win, which I would love to see, you know, he's ready to go whenever, however, because he's probably the toughest old man in the world. I'm pretty sure.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, right. You wish.
The second.
You
the
look
second
like
top.
you look like a miniature Glover Teixeira.
Speaking of miniatures, uh, is I would love to see I am the mini me version of Paul Craig. When are we seeing the Scottish back on the octagon? I love Paul Craig. He would be very interesting on this
Yep.
uprising for any of those. Paul Craig is very interesting to watch. He's a very good fighter. So um, my bigger version of me, or my ego wanted to be Paul Craig, would be a very good
We
fight.
see
I
Paul
don't know,
Craig,
Anthony
Anthony
Smith.
Smith. Yeah, Paul
I,
Craig, Anthony
I,
Smith.
I'll pay for that
I
one.
would
That's
definitely rather that one over anybody else in the division. That's for sure.
because Anthony Smith has all of the striking and the distance, and Paul Craig is more of the submission. So
I
I
don't know if
love these
I don't know
possibilities.
if Anthony. I don't know if there's another fighter in the UFC that's made me think that they're the greatest, and then think that they've fallen off so many times as Anthony Smith is, because. But he's on a mission this time, it looks like, and he's got something to prove. With that last knockout win, that was, and he's looked good. He's looked good since he lost to Glover.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see what goes forward. But he lost bad to fucking Glover. Glover just about knocked his fucking teeth out. If not, did knock his teeth out, as he was asking his corner.
Glover Teixeira is just one big mole, man. It's a
Yeah,
dangerous fighter. He's got the endurance. He's got the it's a
the
problem. And
strength, the knowledge.
he lost to Glover and then lost to Rockage
Yeah,
afterwards. So
but then had
it was
two
that
finishes right
serious.
after that.
Yes, sir.
But
Two
yeah,
performance of the night.
yeah. And so that was it for the UFC Vegas card. It wasn't too bad overall. Again, the early prelims outshone the main card, and the people on the lower card made for better fights. And excited to see some of them move forward. We've seen some old fighters back, and some retired fighters retire. Overall, not a bad night. It's still better than not watching any fights, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple of fight nights coming up prior to the pay-per-views in Fight Island, and then on the end of the month.
Yeah, and then we've got the big card coming at Fight Island back in Abu Dhabi.
Si, señor.
As I said, Paddy Pimblett got called out of UFC Vegas 38.
As you said incorrectly.
I did say
because
incorrectly.
It was Gordon.
It was Gordon at the end of his post-fight press conference. Gordon did not hold back. Said he called out Paddy specifically by name. It didn't say nothing bad about him. I think it was just more of a, you look like a good fighter, I think I'm a good fighter, let's get in here and bang kind of deal. So it was no negative or derogatory things or nothing like that.
Yeah, no, and I think there's calling for good shots, and obviously Patty would be a good shot just to make sure that he's getting into these ranked fighters, and it would be amazing to watch.
Misha Tate, I seen the Aspen Ladd video. I'm sure everybody that watches MMA has seen the Aspen Ladd video as she's shaking on the scale trying to make weight. And then Misha Tate quarrels, saying that she was cheating.
The first time that I saw, and I don't watch much of the weigh-ins. I'm not into.
I only seen it because it was on Twitter.
And yeah, I saw the videos. The first time she comes in with full sweats. Weird.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, I mean, you are on your underpants or at least on your fighting gear.
Yeah.
But not on the full sweat. You're wearing the full sweat shoes and t-shirt. And then on the second one, she says, well, let me try it. I've seen people just stand on one leg whenever they're doing weigh-ins just to cheat the scale. I don't know what Misha was implying, and I'm not sure if Aspen was ready for the fight.
Well, at that point, they try everything. like it's happened before. They've seen people where like the coaches will have their arms around them holding a towel or whatever, or they'll have just enough to get that 1 pound where they put like 2 fingers and hope that nobody notices in the heat of the moment. And then obviously with video evidence nowadays, you go back and you can pick it apart and go, hey, look what the fuck happened here. So I'm sure that their camp seen something in the playback that made them feel some type of way. Needless to say, this fight was supposed to be on the card, was it not? And then it got taken off.
It was called off at the weigh-in.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it was called off because it was mentioned that she was not ready to fight because she was shaking in there.
And it was so bad. I'm sure the commission, we've seen worse than that. Like they show the video all the time of Cyborg crying in the back and stuff like that. And we've had other fighters die from trying to cut weight, not in the UFC but in other divisions. It has happened.
Terrible.
And we got Jorge Masvidal saying Leon Edwards is a fucking moron. I'll agree with him to that for turning down the fight. And Edwards fired back to Jorge. I know Jorge too wants to get back in the ring ASAP. He's looking to pick up another fight.
Yeah, Jorge. No, Jorge. Yeah, Jorgito wants to go and fight. Obviously, he noticed that his stock is not rising, so you need to be moving and you need to continue to be on the news, not because of that. So if it's talking or if it's on the octagon, you need to get your ass in there.
They had
I agree with him.
They had his first Jorge's fucking whatever event on UFC Fight Pass.
Bare knuckle fighting MMA.
Yeah, and it looked like from the pictures that I had seen, it looked like it could have been rough and rowdy too.
I saw it. Thanks to Guillermo, our West Coast friend, that he said, hey, are you watching it? I said, dude, I'm not sure if I want to watch MMA bare knuckle. I saw 2 fights and man, they were nasty.
Yeah. But needless to say, Jorge knows where the money's at, and the money ain't if his name isn't on a card somewhere. And then we got the Sean O'Malley fight versus, I hate to say another nobody because I don't want to disrespect this guy any, but we'll say somebody outside the top 10. How about that? Sean O'Malley versus the outside top 10. Raulian Pavia added to the UFC 269 card. Obviously, this is just going to be on O'Malley's name, and you can guarantee that'll be on the fucking main card and not the early prelims.
I like Raulian as a better matchup for O'Malley. He's top 15, I think, 14 something.
So somebody that's at least ranked.
And he's a BJJ black belt. So that's going to be making a little bit of trouble. I wish he's got what it's needed to make O'Malley put his effort into it.
We want to see a wrestler. We want to see a grappler. We want to see somebody that's going to go that route. We know O'Malley's got hands, but we need to see him tested in others. He could be another Kevin Holland.
Who knows? I think he's a little bit better talented.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying that him and Kevin Holland are in any way the same fighter at all. I'm just saying we thought Kevin Holland, there was a potential because he strung 3 knockouts together that he could be a pretty good fighter. He had me fooled. But obviously we found his weakness because as soon as he was tested on the ground. Now we could have the same thing happen with O'Malley because the only one that really did test him was the fight where he broke his fucking ankle, his only loss. But
Holland
not a loss
gets you fooled because you're a casual man. Holland, it's just the one-trick pony, kung fu black belt.
Yeah, well, I thought that was before he opened his mouth. Going into that fight that he lost was before he opened his mouth, and they had them stupid little vignettes and him showing his collection and all this fucking other shit and nothing about fighting. I was like, oh, okay, so this guy's losing today. And then Derek Brunson just mauled him to fucking death.
Yes, sir.
And then Cejudo said he's not looking to cherry pick a title opportunity. I think he's saying he wants to be a 3-division champ now, and he wants to come back and fight Alexander Volkanovski.
So he's not picking, or he is picking.
Yeah,
I'm not telling.
I said the day he retired, he'll be back. We both agreed. We said that this isn't gonna. I said he's gonna wait for somebody to put some wins together. You know what I mean? Which isn't a bad thing on his end, because then you at least let, you know what I mean. If you're clearing the division out, nobody's fucking winning. It's like, say if Amanda Nunes was to go, you know what, I'm gonna retire, and then we get another person that hits the division and strings like 12 wins together, and Amanda Nunes decides to come back, and that's a huge money making fight. We all understand that, and I think that's what Cejudo's trying to do. Hence why he retired so early. And so he can build. I definitely think when he retired, this was in his game plan.
So we're not talking MMA, we're talking WWE.
Exactly.
You're creating this
exactly.
F it. Send it over to WWE. We don't need this, or at least in my perspective, I don't want to see this. You want to fight, come and fight. You want to take a break, mention that you're taking a break. You're gonna step away from the game for a
don't
little.
say you're retired.
It's a cruel. Don't say retired. Whenever you're retiring, it's forever. You're retiring like Brett Favre. It's like, oh yeah, you're retired, and then
or Manny Pacquiao.
Maybe I'm not retiring and I'm coming back. It's like, dude, take a break.
Or Manny Pacquiao.
I agree. This is a cruel sport. This is very bad. Just mention, hey, I'm gonna take a sabbatical. I cleaned my division. I'm gonna take a rest.
Yeah.
And consider probably retiring in the future, but I want to come back.
Well, I think Henry Cejudo said some bullshit, like he was thinking about going back to wrestling or whatever the fuck.
He was saying that's why I said if this is WWE, because he was challenging Valentina Shevchenko. It's like, dude, you just want to be.
He just wants to make money. He wants to make that big fucking bank, and that's what he's got a formula in his head of how he's going to do that, and he'll act it out any way he can.
It might.
And then we got Chris Cyborg saying that she never felt comfortable with Joe Rogan calling her fights. I never read through this article, but I can only imagine it's for the Vanderlei Silva and address comments has something to do with this. Have you read through this, Pep?
Your boy. Well, the comments that she's mentioning is like, if Chris Cyborg cut her penis.
Yeah.
So, Joe Rogan,
he said many
Joe
things
Rogan,
about Cyborg.
He's a comedian, dude. Yeah, but these are people too.
Yeah,
these guys have feelings.
Yeah,
these are just bashing their heads and trying to make money. And obviously, you're not comfortable. But I'm not saying anything because you're part of the religion of the Rogans.
Hey, I never said that. I don't know why you would say that. You probably watch more Rogan than I do, Pep.
I haven't seen he moved into the
Spotify
the platform.
I haven't watched any either.
We're not partnered with Spotify.
Well, we could be. The only reason we haven't released these as an audio podcast is because, I don't know, we never thought about it till now.
Okay, you do it. I'll send you the file back whenever it's all edited.
Oh no, I'll have it. I'll just cut the audio out of it. I guess we could put it live, but
no, we need the casual alerts. The casual alerts.
Well, then that would encourage anybody that sees it on Spotify or is listening to it through audio to then go to YouTube, watch the video, and see what all that fucking noise is.
I'm streaming it right now, and we have nobody watching it. Not even my wife watches. But anywho, we can talk.
So what? So this was basically Chris Cyborg saying that Joe said some ignorant shit about her, and he doesn't appreciate her. I totally agree with Cyborg. But at the same time, I almost agree with Joe. There's something not right. Like, I don't know. She is just, her body structure, everything looks like a man.
Dude, come on. Don't tell me that.
She's...
Well, how many years have she trained?
Yeah. And where she...
we look like a fluffy... I have wider hips like a woman in the market. Come on. She's just
a fucking animal.
She's a fighter. How many times have we seen her cry just to make fucking weight? Yeah. Dude, these people are professional athletes that also are humans that have feelings, and these bull dominants makes jokes like, oh well, that's okay. Well, it takes a toll. It makes a pressure, and that's what she said. I felt pressure whenever he was calling the fight.
Because she's fucking, like, you can't, there's no other woman in a division that's looked like that. You got to think that if there's people like that, there's got to be more than just one. There's got to be another cyborg-esque looking lady out there with that. Just it's kudos to her for fucking showing how much effort she's put into putting that muscle on to look that way, to look like she should be fighting fucking men in lightweight division. She
Dude,
just,
Brazilian genes.
it's
Just
insane.
uh, the Silva on this card that we just mentioned. He was chiseled.
Yeah,
He was strong as hell. Oliveira, strong as freaking hell. We were talking about Santos. Man, he looks like a freaking Avenger or something.
yeah,
And Johnny Walker, the same way. I mean, if you put him on a Johnny Walker bottle and you make him the image, you buy it, man. I
yeah.
want to drink it if I'm
If
gonna
I'm
look
gonna
like
look
that.
like that, yeah,
Exactly. I'll be drunk with that. But it's Brazilian genes, is how they brought up. It's running on the freaking beach, it's playing soccer on the beach that makes you.
it's
I
being
mean,
a fucking boa
it's that.
constrictor and using muscles in your body that people don't use on average if they just train one thing
Exactly.
all the time, because they do everything, and
Coming back to the
it's
point,
insane.
we live in a
What are they eating?
society with
I want to eat whatever they're eating.
coconut water. I mean, they're spend if you're living in Rio de Janeiro or all those cities, dude, you're just on under the sun,
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
and moving around and stepping on the sand. So it's the same, but entitled little Italian American says things, and people
Yeah.
obviously
Well,
feel ashamed.
kudos to the Brazilians for breeding absolute fucking killers. And
Yes,
speaking of
sir.
Brazilian killers, Hoist
Hoist.
Gracie has high expectations for Neiman Gracie. We've seen this one on Bellator, I believe it
Yeah,
was.
Bellator. Yeah.
And Nemian just absolutely dominated in Bellator. I also seen Hoist now has, I think it's a son, I'm not sure, that just joined the military as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Joined it. I seen it because
Ah,
I follow Hoist. Hoist is a big gun nut. I'm pretty sure he got his policing license, and I think he might even actually be a cop in his wherever it is he lives. But he's got
just like
videos on.
Shaquille.
He's got videos on Instagram doing that Terran Tactical thing, the same that Joe Rogan talks about all the time. That's where Keanu Reeves went to learn how to be Neo, or not Neo, John Wick. It's in. Yeah, he does. Hoist Gracie does it too. Yeah, now his son's joined the military. But I would say he's looked better than Kron did in MMA.
Kron looked a lot better on the BJJ
Yeah, Kron looks
than
great in
MMA.
BJJ than MMA.
BJJ, he's just amazing. The
Yeah,
fight with Gilbert Burns, if you have a chance to look for it on the two bouts that they had,
yeah.
one going to Kron and the other one going to Durino, man, those know BJJ, but Kron on MMA, not
He has
sure.
not looked good at all.
Naaman is good.
Naaman's looked really good. So who knows? Maybe that'll be the next in the long line of the Gracie family to dominate the sport of MMA.
That last name.
Oh yeah, even to come from that gym. And of course, Naaman called out Michael Page, said he's going to finish him in the first. I'd love to see it. I think Michael Venom Page is Bellator's version of Sean O'Malley, in my opinion.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah, I don't know. You really think he's that bad? He's won a lot.
I did not see anything on the Bellator
No,
fight.
we definitely didn't. And
it was just jumping around.
This is I think he lost this fight, so that's actually our next news. We're gonna get into Bellator here. We tuned in for the Michael Venom Page versus Douglas Lima 2 bout. This being Michael Venom Page's only loss. I think he's got like 7 of his last 8, I believe it is, all by finish too. Of course, everybody recognizes him caving in Chris Cyborg's husband's head. With a flying knee, and then doing that stupid little Pokemon shit afterwards, became a huge meme all over the internet. I think that's kind of his claim to fame, so to speak. But he looking to avenge his only loss, and he did do that. The judges somehow give it to him. I really think Lima won the fight, personally. But we all know that the fucking judges in Bellator are absolute fucking jokes.
Hey, on all of the commissions, we have seen
Yeah,
terrible
I know, and
judging.
it's tough to say that that's Bellator, but it seems like the Bellator gets the short. I don't know if they send out the fucking, you know what I mean, the rookie crew to go do Bellator because it's not the UFC, but that's the fucking way it seems because this judging in Bellator has been absolutely atrocious. It's been bad in the UFC, it's been worse in Bellator.
Yep, I agree with you. Hopefully, we can see that fight between Neyman and Michael Page. I did not like his style. I did not like the fight.
It was not a
He
good
was
fight
not
at all.
taking anything. He both hands low, just moving
Well, he's
back
cocky.
and
That's what he
back.
does, right?
But dude,
Then get in and initiate, but he never initiated. That's why I say he's like Sean O'Malley. He stands on the outside and tries to land his punches and hope one's going to hit for the end payday. Throw a couple flying knees in there, and a couple Superman punches, and it throws people off. But that shit usually only lasts for so long before they get into the elite fighters that figure out how to stop them. Fortunately, bad news in the world of MMA as we had Justin Thornton. His career included 24 MMA fights that died after injuries he suffered in the bare knuckle fighting league's fight in August 20th. I didn't exactly see how the knockout happened. I had heard as soon as it happened, Guillermo or Willie, our Western friend, told me something about it. You never want to see something like this. Of course, we've had people pass away, like we said earlier, from cutting weight and training and stuff like that. It's been a while since we've seen one actually lose their life as a result of something that happened in the ring. Who knows if bare knuckle fighting will be back moving forward. It kind of goes against everything Joe Rogan said. You know what I mean? There's a lot of arguments saying that bare knuckle fighting would be safer than true MMA because there's no padding on the gloves. But it wasn't necessarily from the punch. Who knows? I'm sure it was from the fall. And maybe that says something about the way they've got that stupid little fucking ring set up. Maybe it doesn't have enough give. Who knows? It could just be a freak accident. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm sure we'll find out more as this story progresses. But prayers to his family and anybody that's affected by this. It's something you never want to see.
Yeah, it's terrible news. We've seen it in boxing as well. Fighters not coming back from a round and living in an ambulance and not returning
Yeah.
alive. I've saw the video. There was a big difference of how each fighter looked. Um, Unfortunately, you see, it's 38-year-old fighter. He landed awkwardly. I don't think it was from the punch, but more from the land. It
Yeah.
might be the neck that snapped. It was just a bad scene in there. Sad to hear that, but this is just a reminder. This is not a sport. You're not playing.
Yeah,
You're putting
it's not
your
a
life
game.
in the line. So it's whenever we see looking for fighters better paid, if you have the proper medic team that should be tending to them, this is why some of this happened. And obviously you don't want to see this, and it's an excitement and it takes the ape out of us that fights and brings that courage that we have and that primitive feeling. But still, these guys are putting their life in the line, so hopefully they can properly take care of the fighters. I don't know if it's the ring, I don't know if, but something has
There's
to
going to
be
be a lot
done.
of
And
questions that are going to need to be
yeah.
answered. I'm sure there's going to be some rule changes come out of this. Definitely, we've had like I said, we've had deaths happen before. Even in the lower, it was never really in the UFC. It was always in like the lower local gyms and local tournaments and stuff like that. And as a result of something like that, has brought in different rules in. That's why they focus so heavy now on the height. Well, UFC's answer was obviously the hydration test with the whole trying to cut weight thing. That still is as we've seen been questionable as of late, especially even with the last fight. We see what fighters are still trying to put their body through to make weight. So yeah, it's you're always walking that fine line with this combat sport. Nothing is dangerous and nothing more dangerous in the world as far as sports is concerned. That's for damn sure.
Sí, señor.
And then we'll move away from the world of MMA and into the world of boxing for the fight. I think anybody that knows anything about boxing is excited to see is Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are going to go at it again this weekend. It's they've been going back and forth. Obviously, it's going to be insane.
Mr. Casual Unboxing. This is not the fight that we wanted to see. The
No.
fight that it was supposed to be happening, it was Anthony Joshua versus Tyson.
But after Joshua losing to the Ukrainian, is that really the fight we want to see?
Casual Alexander Usyk.
Alexander. I wanted to say Christoph, but I knew that wasn't his name.
Christoph Jotko.
Yeah,
that's
what I
Polish.
was thinking.
It's in the UFC is not the one. But anywho, it was Joshua Fury. It was all the problem with Wilder and just crying to the lawyers that he needed a rematch.
Well, it was in his contract.
Unfortunately, did not happen on time because of COVID in one of the camps or something. Yeah. It's been moved to this weekend. I want to see it. Yeah. I wish Tyson can box him again. Not sure if Wilder is going to be ready for it. Allegedly, he has been prepared, going back to basics.
I don't know. He's looking
haymakers. Is just jabbing 1-2 combinations. I'm not sure it's enough.
He's jacked and he's ripped. Who's to say that's enough? Obviously, you need technique. But it's everybody's excited to see it. I'll definitely be watching. And fights like this have made me a fan of boxing. I'm not gonna lie.
And if you want to love a little bit more about Tyson Fury, watch your countryman Ariel the Heel Helwani. He did a very good interview, and as always, if you are talking to Tyson is gonna give you raw, very good, interesting comments.
Yeah, he don't mince words.
Had him on the show.
He
was talking about him suicidal, and Helwani was doing the interview. Everywhere he is on, I listen to him. Very interesting, his life, a very entertaining guy. So I'm
a big Gypsy King fan. I'm a big Gypsy King.
I love the Gypsy King as well.
Somebody else we are all a fan of. If you like boxing at all, then you know the name is synonymous. Manny Pacquiao announces his retirement from professional boxing. Is this not the second time, Pep? Why do I feel like he announced his retirement before his last fight?
No, smart thing he mentioned he stepped away
because he was going to go do politics. Then he said he wasn't going to do politics. Then he took that fight, looked really bad. Now he's retiring. But I had also read too that he's actually going to stay in politics, and he was up to become whatever.
The president.
Was it the president of the country?
Yes,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. He did not look good versus Ugas, the Cuban guy. Box him as well, very fast. But we're talking about history. We're talking about
the career.
About a division champ. The fights of watching Pacquiao, it was exciting, fast, a lot of punches, volume, knockouts. It was just very good. They call him the Mexican killer because he was wiping our butts with all of the Mexicans that were on top of that. There was nobody stopping the Pac-Man Pacquiao, Pac-Man Jones, Manny Pacquiao, the Pac-Man.
Pac-Man Jones didn't fare too well in the boxing ring, unfortunately.
It was not the same Pac-Man. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's gonna be remembered as one of the greats ever. He was an amazing fighter. It was very entertaining to watch, and as I mentioned, whenever it was the last fight, it felt like it was the last one.
It was time to go.
Like he was giving it. It was way too much time. And kudos for him, just retiring and making an excellent career in boxing.
Yeah, no, like I said, name synonymous with boxing. Me being a casual, I know who Manny Pacquiao is. Storied career, and it's nice to see him kind of ride off into the sunset. And with that, we're going to ride off into the sunset. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us for another episode of the podcast, MMA Podcast with Pepe and Dab. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, leave us a comment. Maybe give us a few suggestions. If we missed something, let us know. But join us again next week. We'll be right back here at the same time, breaking down next week's fights and fighting news. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.